Hello everyone, welcome to SwitchUp and to another episode of our Battle in the Backlog series. In this particular series I have a look at my quite substantial backlog and see if I can finish off 10 games, letting you know how long it took and giving you a mini review of sorts based on my experiences with the games. So which games have I completed in these last couple of months, and ultimately, were they worth it? Well, let's find out. The first game off the backlog then, one that is cleared in a way but will never truly leave, and that's Monster Hunter Rise. I consider this cleared in the popular sense of the word, as I have finished the story segments in both single player and high rank online, getting the credits screen for both, but the fact that I have the master rank expansion in Sunbreak and the fact that I just love playing it means it's never a game that will truly be retired to the shelf. It took about 75 hours to see both end screens, but to be honest, most of that is because I wasn't really playing to complete it and would do multiple battles against the same monster to build armour sets and weapons, because as anyone who has ever played the series will know, that's where the fun lies. Such a brilliant game, and one I can officially count as finished, even if I am still playing it regularly. Another game I beat recently is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Turtles in Time. This was done via the Cowabunga collection, and it's the Super Nintendo version that I am referring to, a game I've beat many times in its original form over the years, but what was fun about this is that it was done in co-op with my good friend Dave from SaveDex Gaming. We played through once and Dave ran out of continues on the penultimate level, so we started again, and this time unfortunately Dave ran out of continues on the final boss. I had a few lives left and was able to defeat Shredder on my own and add this fantastic beat 'em up to the list. To give Dave some major credit, he got over his disappointment of dying on the last boss by beating the NES Turtles game on a stream on his own channel, quite the achievement. I'll put a link to his stream, if it's still up, in the description if you want to see how he did it. Next was a big hitter in the Switch's library in Super Mario Odyssey. Now I had begun this game back in 2019, but making content for the channel, reviews and whatnot, does sometimes make it hard to stick with a game if it isn't for a video, and I ended up getting waylaid by other things. On a recent flight to Germany, I wanted something to play to take my mind off flying, and booted this back up, and over the course of the flights there and back, plus maybe one more evening after getting home, finally beat the main story. It's a fantastic game. I enjoyed the possession mechanic provided by throwing your hat cappy at enemies, and it was just nice to play a Mario game for fun. I love the small amount of the post-game content I've seen so far, so may well play a bit more if I get a chance, but there are still plenty of moons to grab if you are a completionist, but a time of around 7.5 hours to get through to the end credits was good enough for me, even if you are looking at another 50 hours on top to do absolutely everything. The next one was Signalis, a game with its roots set very much in the old school survival horror ways, and a very good game because of it. You play as an android looking for someone on a planet which housed a large worker colony, but is now seemingly overrun by deadly creatures. It has all of the classic tropes of the survival horror genre, with a limited inventory and sparse ammo, leading to decisions on which enemies to take down and which to try and avoid, plus the puzzles found in the game are of a very good standard, going way past the push this statue here found in some of the earlier games of the genre. The pixel art style and top-down view worked very well, and apart from perhaps wanting just a boss or two more than the included amount, and feeling that one or two of the puzzles near the end of the game went a bit too obscure, this is a brilliant game and highly recommended for fans of the genre. There are 4 endings to obtain, so definitely some extra replay value here for those that want it, but my playthrough of 10 hours felt just about right. I also finished Sherlock Holmes The Awakened, this being the first game on here that was for review, and this is a remake of a third-person adventure game based on Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's characters that first released back in 2008. It tells a story early into Sherlock Holmes' career and his friendship with Watson, and they are investigating a number of kidnappings which ultimately leads them onto the trail of a mysterious cult who worship the Ancient One Cthulhu. Now, H.P. Lovecraft's work, and Cthulhu in particular, has been used as the inspiration for many video games over the years, but the storytelling here and how the two different literary universes merged was really interesting. The gameplay in terms of the investigation side was strong, although there were a few Lovecraftian hallucination sections that I didn't enjoy so much. The biggest issue was performance. Developer Frogware's games can sometimes be a little rough around the edges, but I had a few crashes during my playthrough, which is disappointing. All in all, these issues and the price hold this one back, but I did really enjoy my time with it still. Perhaps wait for a sale, and feel free to check out the review for the full story.
Have we met before?
If you were the real Frank Barnaby, yeah, we would have. But where are my manners? I'm Lucy. And you are?
John. I didn't mean to be rude. I've just had a difficult day, miss.
Well, it's barely noon. And you've already...
Then I played and finished the LEGO Ninjago movie, the video game, which I played through in co-op with my daughter. It's one of many LEGO games on the Switch, and it's fairly similar to a lot of the older style LEGO games, although there's a little more emphasis on movement here, considering the ninja theme, with wall running and big jumps the order of the day. Whilst these games are a good choice to play with someone else, especially your children, this one was pretty glitchy, with issues such as enemies not appearing, meaning that you couldn't finish a scene and move on, needing to reload the last checkpoint. It wasn't a major issue, we still had a good time together, but it's something to be aware of if you are eyeing this one up. The next one was Bramble, the Mountain King. This is a puzzle platformer, quite similar to games such as the Little Nightmare series, in that you'll be solving environmental puzzles to make your way across the environment, needing to avoid a number of monsters in a quest to try and rescue your sister. There are some lovely environments to experience, but make no mistake, it gets very dark as you play, with a number of macabre moments to overcome. It took around 5 hours to finish, which felt just about right in the end. We do have a full video on this one. I'll put a card in the top right hand corner if you do want a bit more information. Then I completed Man of Medan, which was for review purposes, and it's a game that I've played through many times previously, earning the Platinum trophy for it on the PlayStation 4. This comes from the team behind Until Dawn, and it's the first of the Dark Pictures anthology. It tells a story of 5 friends on a boating trip who are attacked at gunpoint and are forced to travel to coordinates to a potential treasure, only to find what looks like an abandoned ghost ship. It's like the old FMV games where you'll watch lots of cutscenes and have to converse with other characters, with the way that you interact not only affecting the relationship you have with these characters, but ultimately could determine whether the characters live or die. It took about 5 hours to finish, but having played it before, I knew exactly how to get the best ending and keep everyone alive, but anyone playing it for the first time will have much more replayability in trying to get that best ending. It's nice to see this game on the Switch, and hopefully the other games in the series will follow.
Look at this. It's insane. Is it even human? I mean, was it ever human?
What is the deal with this place? Okay, leave. Now! Leave, leave, leave!
The 9th game I finished in this time was Remnant from the Ashes. This is labelled as a Souls-like game, which I can see in some respects. It certainly has the difficulty threshold for it, and you'll need to be evading and dodging in combat in order to get anywhere, but as it's a shooter, it very much felt like a third-person shooter first and foremost, with some Souls-like elements. I played this through in co-op mainly with Mark, but Asdin of Grinning Wolf Games also joined us for some of it, and it's a very good game. Not the sort of game I'd necessarily play in single player, so it was nice to experience something different. The highlight of the game was certainly the boss battles, with some absolutely brutal ones towards the end, and it took about 15.5 hours in total to finish. There was some lag when playing it online, especially as the game went on, but I would still recommend this one if you like your third-person shooters. A good challenge and a very fun game. And finally, the 10th game was Nuclear Blaze. This was one I had my eye on to review but didn't get round to it until about a month after its release. It's an action platformer where you play as a firefighter, needing to clear each section of fire before being able to move on. Things get tougher as you progress, as you would expect, with larger areas full of locked doors which need sprinkler systems activated in order to fight back the flames, and whilst it is a pretty short game, taking only a couple of hours to beat, there are some collectibles in terms of hidden cats and a harder challenge mode to unlock on completion, which does change things up quite a bit. I really enjoyed this one and would recommend it, just be aware that it only takes about 2 to 3 hours to finish. So there you have it, another 10 games ticked off the backlog. Some big ones as well, which is nice. Please do let me know about any games you've finished in this time. Leave a comment down below, let us know a bit about it. Was it ultimately worth it? Did you enjoy it? It's just nice to give other people some options in terms of what they could play next. Don't forget, if you are looking for eShop credit to pick up any of these games, or any other games of course for that matter, you can use our website switchup.gg. You can buy your eShop cards from there, and doing so will earn you 5% cash back via our SwitchUp token scheme. This of course accumulates over time, and you can then use this against future purchases to save yourself a bit of money. But as it happens, we also currently have 5% off in discount too if you use the code SwitchUp, which means that effectively you have 10% worth of goodness at the minute by using the website, 5% in cashback and 5% actual discount. There's also a link down there to Play Asia if you want to buy any physical imports. Use the link, use the code stated, and you can also get yourself 5% off of an order from there. A quick thank you to our patrons and our channel members for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.